On the
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Yes. This is Thursday evening, and so my name is Brandy, and I'm with Brushed by Brandy, and we are here live on the Dixie Belle Paint Facebook page, and we're going to paint tonight. So what I've been doing for the past few months is we've been working on a piece start to finish over the course of every Thursday evening. But tonight I'm not quite ready to start a new project because I have 10,000 other projects going on. So we're going to work on a piece that I already have in progress right now. And then probably next week we'll come back and start a new piece together for our start to finish. But this piece is really, really cute, and it's got some really cute techniques on it that I want to talk to you guys about. So this piece here, this is a desk that I'm doing, and it's got these beautiful legs on it. And what I'm going to do with it tonight, the whole theme of this desk is black and white and little hints of gold. And so what I'm doing is a different pattern on each side. So the top has a harlequin on it that you can see here under my towel. I'm trying to protect it. But the top has a harlequin on it. The front, we're going to do stripes. Return it to my sides. My sides here have this beautiful black and white toile. This is a transfer. This is from Redesign with Prima. You can get this on the Dixie Belle page, which I have linked above with my affiliate link. But this is a toile transfer all in black and white. And so I love that each side has a different pattern, but they're all black and white with just little hints of gold. So how I incorporated the gold on the top, if Sean wants to show this, is I've got my harlequin done in the black and white, and then every couple diamonds I just incorporated a gold one here and there. So there's a few all the way across this top here. Throw this back a little bit more. Yeah, there's another one. And then I came back and I distressed them so they've got this beautiful aged look. I'm going to do the same thing today with you guys, only I'm going to do the stripes today. So you'll see how we achieve this look with the striping. This desk is old. It needs some love here. I hope I'm prepared tonight because today's been a crazy day, you guys. If you follow my page, we're having a driveway installed. We've had contractors here all day today. They just left. I've barely eaten. I'm exhausted. I already can think of something I forgot to bring out for camera. So it is what it is. We'll make it through, right?
roll with it.
Yeah. So I already taped off some of my stripes here. I know Tracy from Tracy's Fancy did stripes on her video last night, but I need to do them too. So guess what? You get double the stripes. So a little bit about what I did when I was measuring out my stripes. I did the harlequin on top, and I used a stencil to do my harlequin. I'm not savvy enough to measure it all out, and but I really like the size of this stencil here. In fact, I'm going to message Prima and tell them they need a harlequin stencil for us. But I did the top with a harlequin stencil, and then when I carried it down to the face, I tried to match it up so where my black harlequin is will run in a line with my black stripes down the front. Just that extra little touch so the pattern carries and kind of comes down the front. Although I'm only doing my drawer fronts. I'm not going to do this curved edge and stuff here. I'm just doing my drawer fronts. I've got some pretty moldings here. You can see on this piece that I'm missing one of the moldings right here. And so what I'm going to do is take a Redesign with Prima, one of their molds and their modeling paste, which you can also get through Dixie Belle. And I'm going to make a new little mold here. So for right now, let's get started on these stripes. So how I do stripes, I've already laid out these so we won't have to do quite so many. Let me wrap this tape so my drawer will slide in all the way. Okay, there we go. So how I do stripes is when I'm laying them out, I started at that edge, and like I said, I was wrapping it from the pattern from the top where my diamonds are. And I will lay a strip of tape, and then I just use a little piece of tape as my spacer. Versus measuring in between the tape lines. Grab this other little piece right here. So this also helps me see that I've got a straight piece of that my tape is running straight. So I don't get, it's easy to take stripes and get a little bit cockeyed with them, a little bit sideways. And then I'm just going to take my tape run it alongside there. So I'm a little bit sideways, slightly off. Okay. And it roughly lines up with my pattern on the top. It's not going to be exactly the same because my tape width is a little bit wider or a little less wide than the width of my Harlequin. So you can see after a while it's going to start getting, you know, a little bit off. You can find a tape that's the same width if you want, but this is...
So if you do a Harlequin and it comes out a little messy, what do you think the problem would be?
What are you using to do your Harlequin? Are you measuring it all out or are you using a stencil? And then I would say if you're using a stencil, which is how I did it, there's a couple tips to stenciling, and I'm going to show you that tonight. Because we are also going to stencil the drawer sides with a black and white pattern. So I'll show you a couple tips to stenciling tonight too. So let me get these couple taped off just for this drawer front, and then we'll start painting these. And then I'll take these little spacers out and move them right here. And this way you don't have to measure anything when you're doing stripes. And then I love this because this is just luck, but I kind of where my stripe ends on this side is the same as where my stripe ends on that side, so my two sides will be roughly equal. And I've got 3 stripes on these drawers, so it's nice and symmetrical looking. So now once I've got my tape laid out, I'm going to go ahead and burnish my tape, which is just run my fingers down the side and make sure it's really well attached. You can use the frog tape for this, which attaches really nicely. I'm going to show you how a way to not get bleed through under your tape lines, so that the type of tape you use doesn't matter as much. You can use this just plain blue painter's tape and still not get that bleed through. Okay. So I can't reach those, so I'll get to those later. So then what I'm going to do is you have 2 choices for this. You can get bleed through under the tape, which is little, you know, the little tiny gaps that are in your tape, between your tape and your piece. Whatever you put on top of this tape will then seep under into those little gaps. So if I take my body color on this is the Dixie Belle paint, their flea market decor line in aged ivory. So what this paint is Dixie Belle actually paired up with Flea Market Decor magazine, which is a really exciting pair. Flea Market Decor magazine is a huge magazine. And they released a limited edition release of 6 paint colors, and this is one of those. So it's called Aged Ivory, and it's a beautiful, like, creamy white ivory. It's a little bit in between buttercream and drop cloth, I would say. So that's what my body color is on here. So I can take my Aged Ivory.
Now, can I just interject for a second?
No, sorry.
Sweet. It's been that kind of a day. My opinion doesn't matter.
You can...
You guys can take...
What it's on. Okay. Oh,
that's
there
fine.
you go. Hang on.
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. We had a little internet issue, but it should be fixed now. So if it was blurry before I...
Carol, this should fix it.
Yeah, we fixed it. The only thing I don't like about is we get super clear Wi-Fi through this, but it will drop the connection, and you don't always know that that's happened, and then you have to turn it back on again. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my body color, which is this creamy white color, and if I go over the edges of my tape, now what's bleeding through under the edges of my tape is my body color. So then when I peel this, it's just going to have the white, and that'll get me nice, clean lines for my stripes. You can either do it with your body color, or you can take any one of the Dixie Belle clear coats, and you can do it with a clear coat. So I'll show you with this. I would recommend, if you are using a clear coat to go over the edges of your tape, you use whatever clear coat you're going to coat your body in, and that way you have the same sheen on your whole body. So if you're going to use flat clear coat on your body, don't come back and put gloss on the edges of your tape. In this case, we'll use gator hide, and I'll use gator hide on the body of my piece. So same thing, I'm just going to take a little bit of my gator hide. This is my same brush, let me get that white paint off there. And I can just go over the edges of my tape with the clear coat. So it works either with clear coat or your body color paint. Just go ahead and finish this up with my gator hide. So now whatever has bled under my tape line is either my body color or it's a clear, which will, you know, dries perfectly clear. So I'm gonna come down here and do the rest of my tape lines. And that'll give this a chance to dry really quick before we, because it's a really thin layer, you don't need any thickness. It should be a really thin layer of your paint or your clear coat, either one. We're using Gator Hide right now. Really thin coat. All you need is for it to just seal that little edge of the tape. You're not trying to get any coverage or anything on it. You guys, my husband Sean is here, of course, as always.
I think you missed a spot here.
Just to tell me that I missed a spot.
Yep. That's what I'm here for.
I'm gonna scoop
Support.
There. You're my. Can I get?
Man, oh man, I am so sorry, guys.
Could just be Facebook today, because I have been on Facebook today and I've noticed that Facebook is really spotty today. So not only do we have to deal with our own connectivity issues, we have to deal with Facebook's connectivity issues.
And I just can't count on anyone.
I know.
Anyone.
So I have noticed, I've been on Facebook today and it was super slow. Rewatching videos, you know, other people's videos was super slow. So our Wi-Fi is connected and it looks okay, so it looks like it could be a Facebook issue. I'm making sure that I haven't burnished this tape yet, so I'm going to come here, make sure I have it nice. Peel this up so it gets all the way down to the bottom in there. There we go. So this is going to be super cute because my handles on this are going to be gold. And then I think this piece is fun because this is going to belong to, there's a shop here locally and they display my pieces. And I absolutely love them. And this is for one of the owners of the shop. But what's even cooler is they literally just became a Dixie Belle retailer today. So now they will carry my pieces in their shop, and then they'll also be able to have a cute little display that shows what colors I used, and you'll get to see them in person. So if you're local, I think that's going to be really cool to be able to go visit there. It's a shop in historic Folsom, California called an Enchanted Closet. They're really like a little whimsical little shop, so I usually put colorful, fun pieces in there. So now if I go back over here, that clear coat that we put over there should be fairly dry. And let me close up this white paint. And put my lid on here because spilling paint does make me cry. And now I'm going to take, I had aged ivory on my body, but now I'm going to take Dixie Belle Caviar because this is all black and white. I've got caviar down here on my legs. So I'm going to do my stripes are going to be black and white too. And then I'm going to sneak in like a gold stripe and a gold stripe, you know, just
you rebel.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Black, white, and gold is our okay. So this is Dixie Belle Caviar.
So where's the shop at?
Historic Folsom, Sutter Street in Folsom, California, just outside Sacramento. So now, like I said, I don't want to come up here onto my body. I'm going to use my Dixie Belle Flat Small, and this is where the different sizes of brushes really make a difference. When you're doing smaller projects, like I did the legs using the Flat Small, you know, you can get into more detailed areas, and these are fairly small stripes. I don't want to use a super big brush. It would get awkward. I would, you know, if my hand gets heavy, I could get paint onto areas I don't want black. So I'm just going to do it using my Flat Small.
So Lynn does have a very important question.
But of course.
Have you ever fallen off of that scooter?
I don't want to answer that question.
Just curious. Speak to the crowd.
Lynn, I'm super clumsy. I'm a messy painter. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Not on camera though. So if it's not on camera, it never really happened, right?
We'll wait.
Yeah. I'm sure I have. Okay, so I don't want to get down here. So again, having this flat, small brush is really nice. And another thing is I'm going to distress these stripes. So I am only going to do one coat on this, and if it doesn't get coverage in places, that's okay, because I'm going to come back and you can see, if you want to come up here to the top for a second. Let me uncover this a little more. You can see spots in my Harlequin that I've sanded through the black and the white is showing. I'm going to do the same thing for the stripes. Just age it a little bit. This has a coat of gator hide on it too, so it's really nice and smooth. And so when I sand it down, there can be little ridges along the edge of your stencil, or in this case it will be our tape lines, and sanding it smooth, I get that age look and I get a nice smooth front. Opening my drawer would probably help, but now I've got my tape carried down, so I'm trying to do this and not get it down onto the body. You know, once again, things I didn't think through because we've been so busy today. So yeah, anyway, if you guys are local, I do need to open this drawer. Let me grab a screwdriver. That was my water. Do I have a screwdriver? Oh, that's a knife. Excuse me. I'm grabbing a screwdriver so I can open my drawer. Hang on, guys. While I'm up, I'm going to grab one more thing.
I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat.
Yeah, I'll be back.
No big deal.
30 minutes.
We're just gonna hang out.
Sean's got you guys. He's entertaining.
No worries. Here, I'm juggling. Oh, I'm behind the camera.
Tell him a joke or something.
Yeah.
But not that one. Something camera appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I'm very limited.
You don't know any like that?
And it's got to be camera appropriate.
Okay.
Wow, this is a really nice piece.
Stop. I'm sorry.
Where'd the stencil come from?
So the stencil is from Royal Design Stencils. Prima has some beautiful stencils. I absolutely love their stencils, as does Dixie Belle. I'm going to use the Dixie Belle stencil tonight too. But that's the only place I found a Harlequin one. I'm going to take this tape off. I need to open this drawer a little bit to be able to get to this side here.
Mm-hmm. Would you like this?
Nope.
Okay. Carry on.
I kind of know what I'm doing. Don't tape your drawer shut if you need to open it. Alright. So let's see, this one looks good. So we'll just do this little edge here. See, if I had this drawer shut, I would have gotten paint on my body trying to do this.
I try to keep paint off my body.
That must be a challenge. I'm going to wrap this tape around, and I'm going to paint my stripes up onto my drawer top too. I think that would be cute. I'm just going to burnish it. I don't have my clear coat on here, but that's okay because, like I said, I'm going to distress these with my sander. So if I get a little bit of bleed through under my tape, it just adds a little bit of extra character, a little bit of extra interest. Imperfections are really cute when you're doing a look like this. There, I like that.
So as far as the top, what grit sandpaper did you use to kind of etch that?
What did I have? I used my electric sander, and I believe it had like a 120 grit on it. And you have to pay attention. I just did it enough to cut through that paint. So I did it slowly, paying attention to, you know, once I got through, you don't want to go through the white. I do have a few spots where the wood shows, but a lot of people prefer hand sanding when doing precision work like that, because with your electric sander, you don't have quite as much control. But I usually distress with my sander. If I'm distressing, you know, I kind of figure like, I don't really need control. I'm going for a distressed look, so I just take it slow. I put my sander on a low speed. I don't use too heavy of a grit. You don't want a heavy grit because then you're going to get a really rough, distressed look. And this I wanted a little smoother. I'm just using the paint in my lid here. I shook my caviar before I used it. And this doesn't take a lot of paint. It's a really thin single coat. I'm using my flat, small brush. I'm wrapping it onto the top here too. So I just think having all these different patterns, but they're all black and white. We've got the harlequin on the top, the toile on the side, the stripe, and then I'm going to use one of my Dixie Belle stencils, which is a quatrefoil stencil on the drawer side. We'll do that next.
All right, let's get to the fun stuff. Removing the tape. When do you remove the tape?
I remove it when my paint is still wet.
There we go.
That way you don't pull any of your dry paint. It's going to have resistance when your paint is dry, and you can pull paint up that you didn't want to. So I will pull it, you know, probably while we're here on camera tonight. Okay, so that drawer looks good. And now I get to open this one that's taped shut again, like we did on the other side. You guys, I always try to prepare for these lives really well, but we've just been so busy tonight. So thank you for being extra patient with me. If you go to my page at Brushed by Brandy, I did a couple lives today as we were having our driveway installed, which is what, like...
You mean the road in front of our house?
Yeah, it's 300 feet to the road plus a turnaround. So how many square feet was it?
4,200.
Oh, 4,200 square feet in asphalt.
5,200. Yeah.
So, and it's not asphalted. They just put the road base down today, but I did a live, so you can go to my page and see what we've been doing today. Why I'm a little spacey for my live tonight. But it's going to be awesome. I'll go live again tomorrow, because tomorrow they're actually going to put the asphalt in. And then we will have a driveway. More like Sean said, a road, because it's so long.
And Diana said that was expensive.
Yeah.
I think maybe she's offering to pay for it.
Yeah.
You know.
No kidding. Why do you think I'm on this live tonight? You guys, please go buy some paint. I need to pay for my.
I'm setting up a GoFundMe account.
Yeah. No joke. Buy some paint, people.
Oh man.
I'm desperate here. Yeah. No.
Please help.
Building a house is not inexpensive. I also showed on that live we've been painting our range hood. Which is it's a wooden range hood. If you guys watch Pam at 44 Marketplace, she does a lot of spraying, and I sprayed patina like Pam does, and it came out so pretty. So now I'm gonna let these drawers hang out for a minute. I got a little heavy paint here.
So really quick, Brittany had asked as far as bleed through. So let's go back real quick just to address the condition for minimizing bleed through.
So what I did is you can take either your Dixie Belle clear coat that you're going to coat your body in, and if you just rub it along the edges of your paint line, what will bleed through under the tape is going to be your clear coat. You can do it with either your clear coat or your body color. Either one of these would work. So, and then what bleeds through under your tape is either your body color or it's clear. And then now it's nice and sealed off, so when I put my black over the top, the black isn't bleeding through. The first thing you put over that tape is what's going to bleed through. Missed this little side right here.
Let me know if that made sense to you, ladies. There were multiple asking about it.
Yeah,
I just wanted to capture that again.
If you're unsure about what I'm saying, you can catch this on replay, because we did that at the very beginning, where I put some, showed you clear and in my paint color, how to keep it from bleeding through into the sides. So let's put this out of the way. My door fronts are drying right now. So I'm going to show you the couple other little decorative accents we're going to do on here.
So I realized that it may have been forgotten, but we do have some people asking about the gold stripe.
Oh!
Yeah, just kind of throwing it out there, just, you know.
Oh, I forgot.
We realize that we're just rolling with the punches.
You're right. I forgot.
Sorry, everyone.
I can still put it over the top of this.
Once it dries.
Once it dries. You're right. I forgot to put a gold in there. You were right. I was in the zone. And so what I'm going to use for my gold is going to be, where's my decor wax? Hang on. I know I got it out. Brandy. Oh, here it is. It's just sitting behind my gator head. Okay, so what I've used for the gold on the top, and actually I'm gonna stencil with it now, is the Redesign with Prima Decor Wax. And I like this because it's really nice and saturated. So I can put it over the paint and you get really nice coverage. It gives you more than just a shimmery effect, it gives you full coverage. And I'm gonna actually show you right now. It also smells like heaven. It smells smells kind of lemony.
So that's what heaven smells like.
Yeah, heaven smells like lemons.
Huh, interesting.
So I've heard anyway. Yeah. So Redesign with Prima and Dixie Belle, you guys, if you haven't already heard, has paired up to put on a conference in Southern California this coming September. And I'm showing you some products tonight from the Dixie Belle paint line and also from the Redesign with Prima line. So the two of them have paired up to put on a conference, the first one that's open to the public, which is really exciting because it's an opportunity. I'll be a teacher there. It's an opportunity to learn from some expert painters. You get to do hands-on. It's really hands-on. You get to actually use these products yourself. So you get expert teachers. All the Redesign products, all the Dixie Belle products are going to be at our disposal. So you actually get to put your hands on this and experience some of this yourself. There's a Facebook group called Redesign with Dixie Belle Conference 2019. If you go join that, all of the information on the conference is in that group. There's early bird pricing going on right now. And there's also a giveaway going on. If you purchase your tickets right now in the early bird before May 14th, you'll be entered for a giveaway in $100 in Dixie Belle products and $100 in Prima products. So another example of some Prima products we're going to go ahead and use tonight are these molds. And like I told you earlier, this little, there would have been a carving here. I can tell. I can see where there was some old
popped
glue.
off.
Yeah, it's missing. And so I'm going to take, this is a silicone mold, also made by Redesign with Prima. And then they also make this modeling material. These are both available through the Dixie Belle link that I have at the top of this post. And this stuff is really cool. So I need to recreate something to go here because it's missing. So I'm going to come down here. We're going to work on the floor for right now. Let me open this bucket of modeling material. Actually,
there was no reason to clean the floor before doing this.
Oh no, no, my floor's not clean. This is a workshop, you guys. It gets worked in. The only section I keep clean is my staging area. Okay, so the modeling material, I'm not going to open this. This is a new bucket. Comes in a little 2-pound bucket like this. So it's got quite a bit in it. You'll get a lot of molds out of it. But I have some here in just a Ziploc bag. So I'm going to use this first. I don't want to open my new bucket. And I chose this mold. They have all different patterns and designs. But when I'm looking at this, I need it to fit in this little space. So it can't be bigger than this molding here. I don't want it to fall off the bottom. So something like that would be too big. So you can kind of look at your molds, and I can see that this is probably the most appropriate sized, and I like the detail of it. I think it'll be really cute right there. So we're going to use this little, just this one right here. So you guys, this is like adult Play-Doh, is all this stuff is. But it dries nice and hard. I've got a dry one over here. Let me grab it. So this is another one of their molds that I've already done for another project. It's a little rose.
Can you guys see the detail in that? There we go.
Yeah, but you can see how nice and clean they come out. I'll show you how they pop out of the mold. And then this can be painted and some gilding waxes over the ridges. And this would be really pretty too. It's a little big for this spot. But you can put these anywhere on your project just to add that nice little accent. So this is another one of the molds, and it's got a variety of flowers and then some leaf designs on it too. Let me show you the consistency of this. It's a putty, but you can mold it. It feels like children's Play-Doh. And I'm going to take it with my thumbs, and I've got roughly what I'm guessing is the amount I need for this mold here. And with my thumbs and some pressure, I'm going to force it into this mold. Now, when it's in here, I just put this in and it's fairly messy looking. You don't want it to be onto the silicone, because then the back of your mold, you'll get you'll get an outline around it. So you want your edges to be as clean as possible. So as I'm going through forcing this into the mold, I'm going to peel away, and it slides right off the silicone. See, it's like adult Play-Doh.
How long does it take for this stuff to dry?
It dries in a couple hours. It doesn't take very long at all. I did a few. I was working at a live demo at an art show a few weeks ago, and I did it, and I was out in the sun, and it was dry within, gosh, an hour. But that was in, you know, having it out in the sun. So this is air dry. You can just leave it sitting out and it will air dry. So I want to try to get this back as nice and flat as I can, because I'm going to be attaching it to my piece. So if you've got like a lumpy back, so I'm just rubbing off the excess. And if it gets a little too sticky, it's not rubbing off, you can put a little bit of water on this. I've got a little piece right here I don't want. You can put a little bit of water on this to moisten it too.
Because obviously another thing about it is you want it as flat as possible.
Mom, can I be in your life?
So that it doesn't protrude from the
You want to come sit
piece.
over here?
Hold on, Logan.
Yeah, I want it to sit nice and flat. So you can remove this from the mold.
Hi.
It's my 5-year-old Logan, you guys. He wanted to make a special appearance in our video tonight. So everyone welcome Logan. So I'm just making sure this is nice and flat, and then everywhere where I've got a ridge, I just press it off. And then this is still good, this modeling material. I could stick this back together in a little ball, and all this is reusable. So I can put it back in my Ziploc or back in my bucket that comes in this really nice storage bucket, so you can store it in there. So I feel like this is looking pretty good.
Hi,
I'm
Logan.
gonna take a little bit more off the back, and then we'll pop it out of the mold, and you'll see how easy these are to pop out.
Mama said hi.
Yeah. Okay, so it's nice and flat. I don't have a lot coming out on, you know, all over the silicone. I've got nice clean edges. So these are flexible molds. And now when I flex this, you can see, and I didn't dust this with any kind of starch or, you know, nothing. But when I flex this mold, see how
That's
easy
pretty.
that pops out?
That's pretty, Mom.
So then I got a little bit here that I don't want, so I'm just going to clean out this little edge right here. So see how pretty that is?
Yeah, that's very pretty.
It's a nice detailed mold. So this is an alternative to using, you can use resin in these molds. They also make a paper clay if you want that crackled old like Venetian plaster look. But the modeling material dries with less shrinkage and cracking than the paper clay does. So this is an example. I've got a little bit of cracking, but minimal.
So for ladies like Brittany, how do you go about getting this?
Oh, these are, you can get the molds through the Dixie Belle link that I put at the top of this post. They have the molds and the modeling material you can get through Dixie Belle.
Bam.
I know.
There we go.
Dixie Belle is your one-stop painting shop, you guys. It's a result of that really nice partnership that they have with Redesign with Prima, that you can get the Prima products through Dixie Belle. And then look at how pretty that will be. And I can fill in this with, say, I can take a smaller little leaf like this, and I could put it on the side. So you can combine these to make, you know, as big of a molding as you want to.
So to step back a second, what's the product that you use to make?
So I use the Redesign with Prima modeling material. It's called modeling material. It comes in this, which is a 2-pound bucket. So you get tons of molds out of this little bucket, and it makes the details really nice and clean.
And now how do you attach it?
How do I attach it? Great
There we
question.
go.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. So my clay is flexible. So this would be the time where if you have, my drawer fronts are flat, but if you had a curve to your drawer front, this is flexible.
It's pliable.
To where, yeah, you can attach it to a curve at this point. My drawer fronts are nice and flat, so I can let this dry flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what you would recommend? So I'm going to set this, and I will just let it dry flat. Now they can start to curve a little bit as they dry because the moisture is coming out of the modeling material. So you can also attach it, and I would use, I use either Gorilla Glue, wood glue, or E6000, which is a, you know, just a general adhesive. You can put it either way, so I could put it either this way up or this way up, whichever I want. And then if you put a little bit of painter's tape on the sides, it will keep it flat. So let me grab my adhesive. I'll go ahead and throw that on.
I'll go with some more.
What?
I'll put it right back, baby.
What if I need somebody to hang out with?
Daddy will be all by himself on
You
camera.
don't want that.
Nobody wants that. Okay, so these are the two things. Either one of these works great. This is E6000 flexible paintable glue. And this is Gorilla Glue wood glue.
Yeah,
not
I want
the
to point that
regular
out.
Gorilla Glue.
Yes.
Because regular Gorilla Glue expands and it will pop
I
out the
gotta be
sides.
right back.
So we'll use my wood glue tonight. I'm only using my wood glue.
So Alice, hopefully you caught that. This is the wood glue.
Yeah.
The
not
other
regular
will
glue.
expand.
E6000, my tube is kind of old. It starts to dry inside there. It gets hard to open. So that's why I'm choosing my Gorilla Glue right now. And I will just apply it onto the back. Really thin layer. It doesn't take a lot. And when I attach this, it's going to push out the sides. So I smooth it around the edge of my little mold just to get nice even coverage. Very thin layer. I don't need a whole lot. In fact, I have a little much, so I just wipe some onto a towel. You can paint these too, either before you attach it or after you attach it. Either way is fine. So let me get a couple pieces of tape, because when we put this on, I'm going to want to tape it on there until my adhesive starts to set up. Okay, so I have just a little bit of painter's tape, and I'm going to choose to attach it this way, because that kind of fits with the, I want to make sure it's nice and centered. Let's see, I mean, I can kind of shape it to my piece however I want. You know, I can move these little rings a little bit up if I want, or move them down, or how does that look? Does that look centered and straight? How's that look?
Yeah,
guys?
pretty good.
Looks okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this adhesive is holding it fairly well, but like I said, it can start to curl as it dries. So if you just ever so gently, you don't want to flatten out your mold, but just place a little bit of painter's tape over it while it's drying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you think too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then let it dry on there. And that way it dries conforming to the shape of your piece. And it won't allow it to curl up, those little edges. So I'm just going to let that hang out and dry. So now that we're done with that, I can come over here. You guys want to peel some paint off our stripes?
And you can
I know.
paint.
This is the best part. Here, Logan, you can help me with this.
Hey, do me a favor, push the glue cap down.
Oh. Okay, I need you to come over here and pull this tape.
Okay.
Okay. So this is so easy a 5-year-old can do it. Here, move to the side a little
Oh,
bit.
then I'm not going to be able to.
Pull it off.
Yep.
Yes,
You
sir.
pull it all the way
Slowly.
Pull, 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 pull. Pull, pull, pull. Go ahead. You can go a little bit faster.
Great job, Logan.
So I can already tell looking at this, the lines are super nice and clean. If it's getting hard, you can come down here and grab it down here and pull.
All right, so we're going to sidetrack
You
this
see
one
that?
for a second, but good job.
We'll do this one next.
So while Logan is doing this, we've had a couple of people ask about the colors and whatnot. Not on this one, but the one behind it.
Oh, you guys saw that? I haven't posted that yet. I'm going to sneak peek it tonight. It is gorgeous, you guys. I'm seriously in love with it. I haven't posted it yet. This is my staging wall behind us, so it's up there because I just staged it.
That's very nice, Mom.
You like that? It came out very nice. Now look how clean those lines are.
Oh,
Look.
Mom, look. I did every single one.
Can you go do that side too?
So also just real quick, a little trick that I learned a long time ago. Your E6000, I've never really seen this, but it's happened to me with silicone. Can I see that for
Yeah.
a second? is people are complaining about the lid
Yeah,
potentially getting stuck.
yeah, it does.
So here's a trick. You take a piece of saran wrap or like plastic and you put it on there and then you screw the cap on. And what'll happen is the cap comes off clean,
Yeah.
the saran wrap doesn't stick to it, and you're good to go.
That works with your Dixie Belle paint too. If you get paint around the edges of your
Yes.
lid, your paint lid can stick. You see me bang it on the floor to get it to break that,
Hey, Mom, it's
break
all
that
done.
bond.
It's all done, Mom.
Oh, but look, you forgot this one.
Oh,
It's okay. You want to come do this?
sure.
Um,
I'm tricky.
so it works to put saran wrap around the lid of your Dixie Belle paint before you close
Around
it.
the actual can itself.
Yeah.
And then you screw it on there and you don't have to deal with that.
I go through my
stickiness.
paint so fast, but it helps prolong the life of it too. So this piece behind me, you guys, I will be posting in the next few days. I just finished it up.
I'm just a fan of the bonsai.
Oh, you like my bonsai? It's cute, huh? I like it because it's great for like masculine style staging. It gives you the greenery, but without a floral.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna move this over here.
Sorry, his other brother's calling him off camera.
So the colors on this are Dixie Belle Drop Cloth, Driftwood, Hurricane Gray, and Stormy Seas, with a little bit of Midnight Sky on the legs. So this has 5 colors on it.
You could
Drop-
just put paint on it instead.
Yeah, you can just put paint on it instead. That works too. So
Good job, Logan.
Drop Cloth, Driftwood, Hurricane Gray, Stormy Seas, Midnight Sky. Stunning.
Mom, can I walk
Stunning.
around the loop again?
Yeah, you guys want to go walk the loop?
How about it,
No,
guys?
I don't want to because you know what happened.
Okay, it's up to you.
Yeah, I know, but look, it won't happen because I'll do it.
So Logan, my assistant, just took off all that tape.
Yep.
The lines on this are perfect.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
Yeah, they're very perfect.
Because we did that little trick to avoid the bleed through of putting the paint or the clear coat on the edges of it.
Good call, Dee Dee. She likes the fan
Are you getting this?
on the desk. Took me a second.
Oh, yeah. The fan on that's just from Home Goods. It's a replica of a vintage fan, but I like it too. It's cute. So I have this staged as kind of a masculine, masculine decor with the globe and the books, and I don't have
Actually,
florals.
we'll do it later, okay?
Here, go with Noah. Go with Noah.
I'm gonna help you.
Okay, you're gonna be quiet then. So this is kind of masculine decor, but I just thought it was beautiful because the picture I put above it was all the grays and blues. It's
You
beautiful.
could just put more stuff on that dress.
Yeah, more stuff would be good too. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do to this, I'm going to let this paint dry, and then I will be distressing these stripes a little bit so that they match the stripes. I will add a gold one in here too because you guys are right. I totally forgot that. But we are going to add some gold to the sides.
Mom, I'll do that for you.
So I like this stencil here. This is the Dixie Belle Harlequin stencil. Or I'm sorry, not Harlequin. This is their small quatrefoil stencil. It comes in a larger size too. But this is the small size, and it's great just for stenciling drawer sides. And I like this because it perfectly fits the width of my drawer side here. So I'm going to stencil a quatrefoil. And then I've got the Harlequin, the toile, the stripes, the quatrefoil, all these different patterns using only 2
Anything
colors.
else you want me to untake?
Nope. Not
I'm
yet.
just confused by all these names.
Yeah, sorry. Watch this on replay if I'm talking too much and you guys aren't catching it all. Or let me know if you have any questions while we're here. So this is a Dixie Belle stencil that I'm using right now. Dixie Belle offers a variety of stencils too. So not only can you get the Prima products, your paint, your clear coats, your brushes, your cleaner. They also have stencils and all kinds of stuff. You can get lost on the Dixie Belle site shopping for stuff. So my tip for stenciling is I will take, and I did this on the Harlequin on the top, I will take a spray adhesive. This is just a 3M spray adhesive. I get it at Home Depot. And I'm going to spray the back side of my stencil. Just a really light spray is all you need. And then it sets up pretty quickly, so I can come right away and place this onto my drawer where I want it. I'm going to line it up with the edges of my drawer. Okay. I'm going to come this way actually. You guys. And then I'll press that down. And that little bit of spray adhesive keeps your stencil really nice and clean. So I'm going to stencil this using Redesign with Prima Decor Wax because it's that gold color I'm using on my piece, but you can use paint. So I'm going to take this, and I've just got, let me find a good stencil brush, hang on. Okay, I love these. These are by Finnabair, but they're through Prima. They're available on Amazon. I have a link if you guys need it, let me know. But these are amazing stencil brushes.
So I want to hit a couple things real quick.
Yeah.
The glue adhesive, does it leave any residue?
No. Great
Okay.
question. It leaves a residue on your stencil, but it does not leave a residue on your piece.
Okay, another question. Painting the stripes, when you're putting a top coat on there, some people have a problem. They're getting it bleeding from one color to the next, even after they wait 48 hours.
Yeah, your paint's too wet. If your paint should not be reactivating, or you're overworking it with the clear coat. If you're just, you don't want to brush them, you know, too much. But if you just do a single pass with a brush with your clear coat, you should not be getting that if your paint is nice and dry. So I would either say you're overworking your clear coat and brushing it, that's reactivating the paint, or your paint's not dry enough. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to dip this stencil brush. This color is called Eternal, which is a really nice vintagey gold color. I love Eternal. I use it a lot on everything. So then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to put this on my stencil. I'm using a dabbing. See how nice the coverage of this decor wax is? This is why I use it a lot. And then once this dries, this decor wax is permanent. Like, I can't even get it off. I've distressed this with steel wool and it lasts through that, you know, attempted distressing process. So I've got good, nice, even coverage. And then I can come back and I'm going to pull my stencil up.
Bam.
That's gorgeous. So now I'm carrying the gold down here onto the drawer sides. It's still a little bit tacky from the spray adhesive. You do need to reapply it occasionally as you reposition your stencil. So I would say you get probably 2 or 3 placements and then you need to reapply the spray adhesive.
I gotta say, there's no shame in Brittany's game. She's got a bunch of questions going on.
Oh yeah,
that's it. I mean, she's just feeding me. So
you guys,
go at
this
it.
is your time to ask questions.
How do you clean your stencil?
Time. Okay, so I clean my stencils. I may get criticism for this. I will actually take every so often, I let the spray adhesive build up on my stencil, and then I will take citrus strip, and I will put my stencil's a little sideways on this, I'm just noticing. That's okay. I will put citrus strip on my stencil and just wipe. It just takes all that gunk from the spray adhesive and it just wipes it off. So Dixie Belle White Lightning is a good option too. But I legitimately use citrus strip, which is a stripper, but it's a gentle water-based stripper. It doesn't eat through the stencils. So
now, in reference to what you're applying,
yes,
wax versus paint.
You can use either one. So the Redesign waxes are permanent once they dry. I have put the Dixie Belle clear coats over them with no issue because it's such a small area that I could clear coat this if I wanted to with the Dixie Belle clear coats, and I've never had an issue doing that. But you could use either or, paint or the waxes. So now I'm going to put a towel down under me because I just did this fresh stencil. And I'm going to flip this drawer over and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll call this one done. And I will finish it up and get you guys some photos. So this drawer side only takes me about 3 placements. It's sticky enough that I don't have to respray it. So with this I might only have to respray like once or twice to do all 3 of these drawers. So this decor wax, it gets really good coverage. I'm going with the gold over the black. It's not a thin coverage gold at all. You could distress this too. If you want to get a little bit of the black peeking through under the gold.
Are you gonna do this to the inside?
No. So actually what I'm thinking I'm going to do is line these drawers. How cute is that? I've got a couple options for papers. I've got a black and white striped paper. That's just a gift wrap. I just pick up cute gift wrap when I see them. Here, I'll grab them and show you guys. This is, I can feel this, it's still got some tackiness to it. So as long as that tackiness lasts, you don't have to respray your stencil. But I'm getting really clean lines on my stencil. There is no bleed through with this at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna step back a second. Tish, this one's for you. You mean this one?
Oh.
The green one.
Oh, the green one.
What color is that?
I spoiled my other piece and you guys are asking about one I've already posted. Tish, that one actually I did on camera. I did the entire process, start to finish, live on the Dixie Belle page. I have a blog post up on my webpage at brushedbybrandy.com that has all of the colors used on that piece and all of the videos from the lives in one place. But we used patina paint on that and then a whole bunch of Dixie Belle greens. It's kind of grungy and rusty and crusty, but go to my website and you will find a full materials list. I try to do that after we do the start to finish lives. I then take all those videos and compile them, and I've got a whole bunch of tutorials up on my website for you guys too.
So now once you're done with this and this dries, what do you coat it with? Do you coat it?
I'll coat it. I can coat it with Gator Hide, any of the Dixie Belle clear coats. If you use a wax on this, because this is a wax, if you use a wax and you're using a wax brush, you could wipe it will reactivate your wax. So I wouldn't use a wax on this, but with just a single pass of a clear coat, done.
So now this was just the motion you just did. I'm kind of drawing attention to it because the question was asked as far as the bottom side that you just did, if it would rub. And you actually just brushed by hand with no issue.
It's brand new. I just put it on, but I won't try to rub through it because if I give it some aggressive rubbing, it could. But this stuff stays in place. It's nice and thick and it's not fragile like that. So I will let this set up and dry, but then even if I come back and try to scrub this off, it's permanent. It might fade a little bit, but it's not going to come off. So if you use this on, you know, moldings on a piece or something, you don't have to seal this. You absolutely do not have to seal this. You know, I could come back after my piece is done and put it, say, on these moldings here, and it would be totally fine. You don't have to seal that decor wax. I was going to show you my paper options real quick. I'll let you guys vote for what you think. So I was going to line these drawers. These are a couple of the papers I was thinking. I either got this thin black and white stripe. These are just gift wraps that I pick up when I see cute gift wrap that would be cute in as a liner. And I get the nice quality ones, not thin, you know, dollar store gift wraps. Skip those. But this is nice quality, nice thick paper. So that would be a cute one in there, the black and white. But I also have this gold glitter one that I picked up at Christmas time. And I thought this would be really pretty too. I kind of like the gold glitter. Yeah, I was curious if the glitter would come off, but it's pretty on there. So this would be a really cute drawer liner too. So those are kind of the two options I'm thinking of.
Everybody's going gold.
You like the gold? I think it's pretty. Can you guys see that? It's glitter paper. So when you see this stuff, like at the holidays, pick it up because I mean, I've been storing, I think I got it not this last year, but the year before at Christmas. And I just hang on to them and a project will pop up for these pretty cute papers. And this was like, you know, I'm sure it's like $3 a roll or something. You know, and I'll get a piece out of this just lining the drawers with it. And you can clear coat over the top of papers like this. And then it's nice and wipeable too. So I like the gold too. It's really cute. So I will finish this up off camera and get some photos out on my page at Brushed by Brandy. But we use a whole bunch of products tonight. We use Dixie Belle in Caviar, the Flea Market Decor Paint in Aged Ivory. We used Gator Hide. We used the Dixie Belle brushes. We use the Dixie Belle Quatrefoil stencil. We use molds and modeling clay. Like, how many cool products are there?
One last one.
All in this.
How do you put on the paper? What do you use to get it in the drawer?
I've got a couple of videos on decoupage. So that's what it's called when you use paper decoratively and attach it to your piece. It's decoupage. On my YouTube channel. And I either use, if it's a thicker paper, I will use wallpaper paste to attach it. For something like this, which is a fairly thin gift wrap, you can use Dixie Belle Gator Hide. Brush your gator hide down. I've done this on camera. Actually, what piece did I use my gator hide on? Can't remember. Brush your gator hide on, lay your paper. I roll it out with a brayer, which is a little like rolling pin tool called a brayer. Let that dry. Come back and put your gator hide on top, and it will dry and it will be totally flat. So gator hide is a nice tool for decoupage that does not reactivate and make bubbles like Mod Podge. Do not stick it down with Mod Podge. This is a nice thinner paper. I will use gator hide to lay this, and then I can put a layer of gator hide over the top. It is stuck in the gator hide and it's sealed in the gator hide, like encapsulates your paper. So that's what I will do. So you guys, for the products that we used tonight, go check out the link that I put in the post above. Buy some paint so I can pay for my driveway, please. If you enjoyed this, you know, put your friend's name in the post and let them know that you liked it. Put it out on your pages. We always appreciate that. And I will be back next Thursday. We will probably start a new piece. I'll see, because I got a million projects going on right now. But I'll be back every Thursday on the Dixie Belle page at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll paint together. Thank you guys so much. Some really great questions tonight. Thank you guys so much for not being hesitant to ask your questions. I always appreciate them, and this is your time to learn and get all your questions answered on the spot with, you know, no waiting. We're right here to answer everything for you guys. So I'm gonna let you go, and I will talk to you guys next week.